Alrighty. So, Riva, today I'm going to be teaching you how to use Chemix, which is a online lab drawing software. So before we start, do you have any experience using Chemix at all or no?
I can't say I've used Chemix before, but I have used others.
You have used others? What other ones have you used?
Oh gosh, SciFinder has a drawing component.
That is true, it does. That one's more like for like molecules though. For this one, you're going to be drawing like actual lab diagrams. So like the setups for like, for instance, if I wanted to draw a diagram of how I set up a vacuum filtration on the sink and stuff like that. And so to get started, what we're going to do is, I don't know, can you see this? I can't see you, so I'm hoping
I can see that.
you can't see this? Okay. So this is the screen you see when you first log on to chemix.org. You don't have to actually sign in. You can just Google search and it's free. There is a subscription-based one. So some of the tools we might be using today, they usually have like a little leaf on them, and I don't really know what that means besides the fact that like you have to have a subscription to maybe print that out or download it. I'm not sure. But yeah, so this is the screen that you first see. And so you can click on things and you can delete them and all that kind of different stuff. And so the first one we're actually going to set up is the vacuum filtration that I mentioned earlier. So over here on the left, we have a bunch of different categories of little diagrams that they have. So they have chemistry, measurement, heating, biology, distillation. And so if you go in here, they have all kinds of different things. Like for instance, if you just wanted to draw a single drop, maybe some boiling beads, heating, they have flames, hot plates, all kinds of different stuff. And if you can't find what you're looking for, a lot of times I'll just be like scrolling through really fast and can't find it. We'll just look it up. So for instance, for our vacuum filtration, I'm going to need a Buchner funnel. And so again, this is one of those things that you need a subscription for. So I don't really know what that means in terms of like if I want to print it, but it doesn't matter for what we're trying to do. And look, when I looked up Buchner funnel, it kind of knew what I was gonna go for. So it also gave me a conical flask with the sidearm, which is also what we need, right? So I'm just gonna throw my little guys down on the table and kind of put him in like that. And so we're halfway there now. And so, for instance, so now the next step, right, would be to add the filter paper. So I'm gonna look up filter paper, and here it is, right? And that doesn't really look like the filter paper that we use when we're using a Buchner funnel, right? We use the little flat ones that go down in the bottom. And so I can try over here on the right, they have a bunch of different properties that you can sort of looking for edit when you're dealing with the different little parts of your diagram. And so we can look simple side view. That totally doesn't match top view. That also doesn't really match what we're doing here. So I don't think I want to put this filter paper like this in my diagram. I think that'll be more confusing than it would be helpful. So I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it. And what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to add a label. So over here I have my labels, and I'm just going to draw an arrow down here like this, and I would write in my label, oh, don't want that there, write on my label, right over here, that it is a filter paper down the bottom. There's that. Now I can show that there's filter paper down there without actually having the little piece of paper down in there, since they don't have the one that I want. And so now the next important part, right, is the faucet for the sink. I have that. Doesn't really look like how I want it to look, but it's all they have. So now the next part would be our tubing. And I don't remember what they call it on here. Rubber hose, maybe? Nope. Okay, so we'll try our best and we'll just look for a tube. And pretend that it's a rubber hose. So here we have kind of a straight tube, and we can kind of connect it however we want to bend, whatever, you know, make it work for our purposes, right? And you could add another diagram in here that would be like, this is connected to the sink.
Can't find the tube.
Yep, I can't find the tube either, but it's okay. I found it earlier, but I lost it, which is no big deal. Right, and so kind of now that isn't a very good one, doesn't really work too great for this type of setup, but it it serves our purposes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this is kind of a really cool tool because drawing lab diagrams sucks. I think we both know that. It's really hard to show in our limited art skills kind of what we're trying to do. And so those lab diagrams are important because they show us, we use future reference. For instance, if you want to redo our experiment, we know the exact setup that we used. If something goes wrong, we can look back to our setup. And also having students use a program like Chemix to make their lab diagrams makes it easier for us to grade because then we don't have to try to decipher what people are trying to draw. We'll just get 20 uniform diagrams that all we can tell what each part is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I hope now we've kind of seen where all our parts are. And so the next one that I kind of want us to set up together would be which one is it that I want to do next? The burette setup. So we're going to try to set up a double burette experiment. So we're going to delete everything that we have on the page. Oh, geez.
Delete all options.
I don't know if there is, but we'll have to look at that later. Okay.
Highlight it
So,
all. Delete it.
I can highlight it all. Yeah, I figured that out. Okay. So what is usually so I gave you a reference here, right, to look at kind of what can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So you see my image here of like this reference of how it usually looks, even though we both know what it looks like. This would maybe be a type of diagram that you could put into your like lab handout. That way you don't have to mess around with it yourself. But when the students then make their labs, maybe virtually, it'd be easier than make them make their own diagrams using Chemix. Okay, so here we go. So what is the first tool that we need?
A stand.
Okay, ring stand. Oh, just a stand. Okay.
Apparently a retort stand.
Yeah, I know. I'm learning that they taught us all different wrong names, but that's okay. Right, and so we want the direction to be facing front and back. Right, so we look over to the right. Okay, now I have our stand facing the way we want it. So what will be our next one?
A burette plant.
Okay.
The question is that the right word?
It is, yes. Oh, no, we want a burette holder.
Holder.
Right, they're almost the same thing. I think a clamp would be if you were going to do just one. Right, and so again, this is the upgrade one, but we can still use it in our diagram, so it doesn't matter. Haha.
Okay.
They thought they could stop us. So next, we need a couple burettes, right?
Yep. Apparently, I don't know how to spell burette though, so you know.
I don't either. And so the cool thing is, if you look over on the right, you can increase the size of your burettes to whatever size you want. And so then also, I forgot to show you this earlier, but if you click, so you see on the right where you have properties, and next to it you have liquid, you can change actually how much liquid you want in your burette. So like say for instance, I wanted to fill it almost to the top. And then you can also change the color and opacity, which would be kind of hard in chemistry. We don't like a lot of things that we deal with are just colorless. But like to make things maybe easier for students to see, you'd be like, okay, the yellow one is NaCl or HCl or something like that.
Yeah, you'd always dye something if you needed to.
Yeah, just to make it, yeah, so it'd just be like for reference, and you could put over on the side that like yellow equals HCl and blue equals NaOH or whatever. But yeah, so let's drop another burette in. And so the only thing that kind of sucks about Chemix is that they don't have like a collaborative feature, but it's okay. Make it work. Right. And so then now we got our burettes in there. What is our last thing that we need to add?
Oh, I suppose we need some flasks.
Yep. Volumetric flask. Or not a volumetric, just a conical. Like that. There we go.
Yeah, I can't spell anything.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So there we go. There's our burette setup. It's beautiful.
Looks great.
Alrighty. And so for the last one, we're gonna see if you can. I'm gonna stop my screen share and see if you can share your screen. Presenting. Stop presenting. I don't know if I have to like alter it or since we're both in it together, you can just do it.
I think I can just share. I need to share a window and this.
Okay. So for the last one, I want you to, I'm gonna put a link in the chat to a Word document, or not a Word document, a Google Doc.
Okay.
And I want you to make a like a TLC setup, and I'll show you the picture that I want you to recreate in Chemix.
Yeah, solid choice. I've only done TLC once.
Mm-hmm. You've only done it once? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, on the thing, there's a there is a picture exactly.
Okay.
You see
Well,
it?
yep. So I
Okay.
need a beaker.
Mm-hmm. And if I had known you only done it once, I wouldn't have made you do this one. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I want to make it bigger. There.
Ooh.
Wow. There we
That's a
go.
good one.
Okay.
So is that the amount of liquid that we usually would want in a TLC?
I'm no, no.
No, we want a lot less than that. I'm sorry, we did like TLCs like I thought we did them a lot more in
I
in
think you
organic.
did them in Chem Synth.
I did a lot of them in Chem Synth, yeah. But I
And
thought we
we
did
did
a lot
it
of them in inorganic too. But maybe that was just the answer to a lot of questions.
yeah, we did one in inorganic and it was done for me.
Oh,
So
that's okay, yeah.
um is it called chromatography paper in here?
Yeah. And this one it is, yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
I like that. Even giant.
You know, odd, but there we go. This is less ridiculous.
Is there a way you can Oh, you can do real size. Try real size. There you go.
Wow, look at that. Okay. Um is there a way we can chromatography spots? Yes, there is.
Hmm.
I think maybe we want it. I'm gonna do the zoomed in version to make the dots easier.
That's okay.
Okay,
Just make your
so
beaker really, really big.
I'm gonna
Oh,
do
like
that.
max.
Okay, I can change the colors of this. I believe red. Okay, and then we want
Ooh.
a blue dot. That's blue we're going with. And we want to put a black dot as well. And black. And then let's keep it going.
Hmm.
There we go.
Awesome. And then what's the last part that we always put on top? Towards the W.
Um,
Rhymes with schmotch glass.
Watch class. There we go. Yeah, this is really showing that I've literally only done this once.
It's okay. Like I said, if I had known that you only did it once, I wouldn't have made you do this one.
No, it's fine. So I understand that that's supposed to cover that.
Yes, yeah.
You know, there's our picture.
The picture looks great. I like it a lot. So I hope after our little meeting here today, you have a better understanding of what Chemix is, why you would use it, when you would use it, and yeah, thanks for helping me out with the project. I hope you learned something.
Yeah, definitely.